Go ahead, Elaine.
I'd like to make a suggestion. In the legislative cost center, under special or new programs, we have $20,000 set aside. I know that that is ideally reserved for Meet Me on Main. I'm not sure how much of that was reserved for Meet Me on Main, but there's a note on that page that says costs associated with the governance committee have been removed because the governance committee has finished its work. But if another effort on increased engagement is desired, could use 10K in special or new programs. So it seems to me like funds are already allocated for these kinds of unexpected special things, and perhaps we could dip into that line to accommodate these costs without increasing anything. And I will say that we've also in the past, when there's been something like special or different,
Yeah.
it has often come out of the trustees' budget, or, well, not the city council budget, but the trustees' budget. So as like the buffer or the first step. And then if it becomes a thing that we keep doing, it moves over to EJRP or it moves over to economic development or whatever. So
I think the question, your question basically, Elaine, is there money in that budget to account, in our line legislative budget, to account for the ability to do this type of programming?
new programs line.
Regina, Jess?
Trying to confirm that for myself.
Sure.
Page,
Yep. So the 20,000 for Meet Me on Main has moved to EJRP admin. So that's one question I wanted to just solidify. So that 20,000 in legislative is not needed for Meet Me on Main.
okay.
What we have also used this line for is the community meal. The retreat facilitator and running the council's retreat, and other events that have come up. To Lincoln ribbon cutting, Crescent Connector ribbon cutting, those kinds of things.
That sounds like a perfect container for this.
Yeah. So, I think that's probably a great suggestion. Jess, any thoughts from your end?
No, I agree with Elaine. Historically, this has been the line where these types of initial costs come from, before they move to potentially another budget, or maybe just stay in here as a special program.
But we don't know what that dollar amount is of the 20,000. Is it 10, or is it, because 10,000 is accounted for other items?
I think what we're trying to do though, I wouldn't see that the outcome of this conversation would be, okay, great, so that's 10,000 for Bridget. That's
Right.
not where I'm going. I'm thinking like, if we were supposed to come out, like, I love you, Bridget, but that's not happening. Based on like what Bridget was saying, I'm thinking like $1,500 comes out of that. Like, we don't know, and it will be piecemeal, but that we have space for it and we wouldn't have to increase taxes to make it happen.
Right, and I get that. I was just trying to understand conceptually, like, are we talking about, like, literally we have $500 left over in that bucket? Or are we talking more like the 10? That's what I was just trying to figure out, because obviously we don't want to leave ourselves in a position where we don't have the ability to do the other things that we've already agreed that we want to do. So I think that's a perfectly acceptable solution. We're not increasing the budget as long as we've got that money to do that. Does that sound good to the rest of council?
I can live with that for sure.
Mike, the only thing I don't understand is I think Regina was talking about two things. Was talking about Bridget's proposal and about the economic development contract. It sounds like Elaine is only talking about one.
Only talking about
Yep.
the.
Only talking about one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just for special events. I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can certainly confirm that we have enough capacity in that 20,000, that there is still sort of opportunity to use it as things come up, as we've originally intended to use that line. I'm not 100% following the note we put on the bottom of that.
I know, there's something off about it.
I'm not sure if it meant we have to add 10,000 or it's fine, so we'll just confirm that.
Luckily
next
enough, it's the 14th. We have a little
Yes,
bit of time,
yes.
Yeah.
so it's good. But I am agreeable to that as well.
Okay.
Sounds like we're all in agreement. The only thing that I will just write as just a little an aside is that we're agreeing to put some money towards this, but the filling in the blanks of how it's going to run and all that stuff still needs to be addressed at a later time, not for tonight's discussion.